Have you ever felt like there's maybe a hidden layer to reality just beneath the surface? You know, as if everyday actions, even mundane ones, hold some kind of secret energetic charge? Well, today we're taking a deep dive into a concept that, honestly, it might just pull back that veil. It could completely shift your perspective on how the world truly works.
Yeah, our source material today introduces a really unique framework. It's called the Isle of Saturn.
Yeah.
Now, don't picture like a physical island in the ocean. Instead, imagine a sophisticated hyperdimensional system. And it's described as operating within what our source calls the YHVH OS.
The YHVH OS, okay.
Right. And this Isle of Saturn, it's presented as basically the ultimate nexus for karmic processing.
Karmic processing, wow. And what makes this deep dive particularly mind-bending for me anyway, is how this framework connects seemingly totally separate concepts, like language being a form of spellcraft, and even like material objects we own being encrypted glyphs of karma. Wild stuff. So our mission today is to unpack this really profound view of reality. We want to help you grasp how everything, maybe everything, might be part of this continuously woven energetic tapestry. Get ready for some serious aha moments, I think. We're about to explore how a kind of universal operating system might be running the show behind the scenes. Okay, so let's unpack this right from the beginning. The source tells us the Isle of Saturn isn't, a physical place you can visit. It's described as a dynamic center of karmic magnetism.
Right. It materializes, apparently, wherever unresolved energetic patterns reach a critical point, a point where they just have to transmute to change.
Okay, so like a pressure release valve almost.
Sort of. Think of it as a critical processing hub for the planet's collective karma.
So what's the foundational principle here? What makes this energetic reality tick?
Well, what's truly fascinating, and maybe a bit startling, is the idea that language itself isn't just for communication. It's actually presented as a form of spellcraft. Yeah. Every word we speak, every thought we really focus on, every intention we hold, it acts as a potent incantation. It's actively shaping and influencing the energetic fabric of reality around us.
Wow.
And it doesn't stop there. Every material object, the chair you're sitting on, the device you're using, it's seen as an encrypted glyph of karma.
A glyph, meaning?
Meaning it inherently contains the echoes of its own history. It has a unique key signature, its own energy fingerprint. And it holds the narrative residue of all the experiences associated with it.
Narrative residue, I like that term.
It establishes this idea of an energetic genesis, where reality is this continuously woven energetic tapestry, constantly being created and, recreated by all these forces.
Okay, hold on. So if I'm hearing this right, you're saying our thoughts, our words, even the stuff around us, are actively, constantly, profoundly shaping reality.
That's the framework presented, yes.
That's a huge shift from how we normally think about things. That's really interesting.
And to really grasp how this Isle of Saturn operates, we first need to understand the YHVH OS you mentioned.
Right, the operating system.
It's crucial. And this isn't like Windows or Mac OS. It's not a human-engineered system. It's presented as the fundamental conscious operating system of the entire planet.
The planet's OS.
Yeah, the very fabric of sentient reality itself. Our source describes it as this intricate, self-regulating network. And it has three main parts, all interconnected.
Okay, what are they?
First, there are the lung mai. You can sort of picture these as energetic meridians or lively lines crisscrossing the globe.
Ah, okay, like energy pathways.
Exactly. Second, there's the mental consciousness grid. This represents the collective neural filament of all sentient beings. Our shared mind, essentially.
Collective unconscious, maybe.
Could be related, yeah. And third, there's spellcrafted language, which we touched on. This is the narrative code through which reality is continuously constructed, written into being.
Wow, okay. And what powers this whole thing, this massive planetary OS? The source mentions something called Monatomic Etheric Fire, M.E.F. What exactly is that, and why is it so important?
M.E.F is, it's conceptualized as the pristine, undifferentiated energetic essence that underlies all manifestation. Think of it as both the fundamental energetic fuel.
The power source.
Right. And the ultimate command line access within the YHVH OS.
Command line access, like hacking reality.
In a manner of speaking. Here's the key insight from the source. Language, when it's used with precision, and aligned with conscious breath and your own chi, your life force. It stops being just communication.
It becomes
a direct form of code injection into this planetary operating system.
Oh, code injection.
And specifically, the deliberate activation of breath, consciously breathing, isn't just about getting oxygen. It's described as a way to facilitate access to higher levels of karmic manipulation. It allows a direct interface with the YHVH OS.
So, our language, our breath, they're literally tools for code injection into reality's operating system. That raises a massive question, doesn't it? What does this actually mean for our everyday interactions, our intentions? Are we just unconsciously programming our own experiences all the time?
That's the profound implication, yes.
Yeah.
We should definitely circle back to that.
Yeah.
But first, let's look at a surprisingly, mundane example of how this system might manifest in the real world.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where are we going with this?
Right, so here's where this deep dive takes a really unexpected, maybe even strange turn. Our source material suggests that the act of pawning something, going to a pawn shop, it goes way beyond just a simple financial transaction. It's interpreted as a profound ritual, a material expression of karmic narratives, often narratives tied to feelings of stagnation, entanglement, maybe even desperation.
Exactly. When someone offers an item for pawn, they are often completely without realizing it, presenting a condensed packet of karmic data.
Karmic data embedded in the object. Yes. The pawn item itself is intrinsically imbued with its history, remember. It carries that unique chi signature and retains the narrative residue from its journey.
Okay.
So the act of pawning, if you look at it through this lens of mental feng shui, the source mentions, it signifies an inner blockage for that person.
And the money they get.
The loan, it isn't just cash. It functions as an immediate infusion of active key raw M.E.F, that primordial energy. It's designed to disrupt that blockage, to create a kind of temporary energetic breathing room for the person.
That's a truly radical way to look at a pawn shop. So the pawnbroker then, they aren't just a business owner in this view.
Not at all.
The source calls them psychic aikidoka, or karmic sensei. They're facilitating this initial release of energetic tension, setting the stage for deeper work.
Precisely.
What makes them, suited for that, energetically speaking?
Well, the source doesn't detail selection criteria, but it implies a certain energetic sensitivity or role. And given this framework, the pawn shop itself stops being just a shop. It functions as a karmic dojo.
A dojo. Like a training place.
In an energetic sense, yes. A micronode within the unseen network of the Isle of Saturn. These places are strategically situated, according to the source, as vital alchemy nodes within the planetary energetic grid.
Alchemy nodes. Wow.
And there's a curious detail. It notes that individuals with O-negative blood types are considered particularly adept as karmic alchemical filters.
O-negative blood, that's specific.
It is, and here's the really key insight about the process. Once an item isn't redeemed, it stays at the shop. Its karmic thread connecting it to the original owner is severed.
Severed, that sounds negative, like a loss.
But it's not viewed that way here. It's seen as a liberation. It makes that energetic imprint, that packet of karmic data, available for purification and reintegration as a useful resource for the YHVH OS.
So the OS recycles the energy?
Essentially, yes. It's a complete reframing of something mundane into, something subtly sacred, as you said.
Okay, connecting this back to the bigger picture then. After that karmic thread is severed, the Isle of Saturn facilitates the harvesting of these detached karmic imprints.
Correct. And this process involves neutralizing any sort of emotional hauntings tied to the object.
Yeah.
Stripping away that narrative residue we talked about.
But not to absorb the bad karma.
No, the purpose isn't absorption. It's for alchemical purification, cleansing it. And this links directly to something called the non-physical he.
The non-physical he.
Described as a pure, creative potential. It subliminally uplifts the whole energetic grid by returning this purified, laundered karma as clean, coherent, energetic packets back to the mental consciousness grid.
Laundered karma, so it's like cleaning up the energetic pollution.
That's a good analogy. It's debugging the system, optimizing the collective consciousness, and this whole idea of debugging karma rather than just erasing it is really quite fascinating, isn't it?
It is. It implies every experience has value, even the difficult ones.
Exactly. And the source mentions two other profound concepts in this debugging or purification journey. A veil gate and an obscura path.
Veil gate and obscura path. Okay, what are these? How do they fit in? Right, so deep within the Isle's energetic architecture, there's this veil gate. Now, it's not a physical gate. It's described as an encoded portal. discernible only through energetic resonance. Like you have to be tuned in to perceive it.
Okay, a vibrational doorway.
Something like that. And it leads to deeper reality. Beyond this gate lies the obscura path. This isn't a linear path like A to B. It's a journey where karmic truth is revealed through archetypal encounters.
Archetypes, like Jungian archetypes.
The source uses that kind of language.
Yeah.
It describes 3 key archetypes you might encounter on this path. First, the smuggler. This one embodies unlawful inheritance, energetic debts passed down through your lineage.
So dealing with family karma.
Exactly. Facing the karmic baggage you might have, unwittingly inherited. Then there's the mirror child. This archetype reflects fragmented aspects of your unredeemed self.
The parts of yourself you don't want to look at.
Pretty much. Challenging you to confront parts of yourself you've maybe disowned or suppressed. And finally, there's the silent sun. This symbolizes unspoken karma. Things like hidden truths, unexpressed griefs.
Secrets and sorrows.
Yeah, things you've kept locked away inside.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, if you were hypothetically navigating such a path? How does it work?
Well, the source makes a really important point here. It says that emotion, if clung to, serves to rebind karma. Holding on to it keeps you stuck. But clarity acts as the force that loosens these bonds. Understanding releases it.
So awareness is key.
Definitely. And here's the really crucial insight. Whatever gets resolved on this inner journey, through these encounters on the obscure path, it then manifests as direct architectural shifts in the outer world.
Winning.
Meaning, releasing those energetic knots on the inside literally rewrites your external reality. Your circumstances change.
Inner work, changing the outer world. Profound.
Absolutely. But it's not all about these intense inner journeys or trips to the pawn shop. Beyond these more direct engagements, the Isle of Saturn also supposedly incorporates sophisticated, passive karmic infrastructure.
Passive infrastructure, like it's working in the background.
Exactly. Can you tell us about 2 examples the source gives? Luminous Solaris and Needle Amentis.
Certainly. These are fascinating concepts. Luminous Solaris functions as a solar siphon node.
Solar siphon.
Yes, imagine a radiant construct, maybe a place or an object, that discreetly collects karmic essence. It collects it from unaware individuals who are drawn to its energetic resonance, its vibe.
So people are just drawn to it.
Apparently. And their energetic fields, especially if they have unresolved karmic imprints, are gently and passively siphoned for processing by the Isle.
Siphoned without them knowing.
That's the implication of passive. Conversely, Needle Amentis provides an aesthetic ritual interface. This operates on the principle that pain, beauty, and validation within a specific ritualistic context can serve as potent karmic bait.
Karmic bait. That's a bit manipulative.
Well, here's the crucial distinction the source makes. It creates a false healing loop. The individual perceives their karma as resolved, they feel catharsis, they feel better. But the Isle concurrently absorbs the underlying karmic imprints for its own processing needs.
So it feels like healing, but the energy is actually being harvested.
That's the description. The key insight here is that both Luminous Solaris and Needle Amentis function as advanced psychic routers. They transmit this sublimated processed energy back to the core operating system, the YHVH OS.
Why? What's the purpose?
To optimize the OS's overall performance and energetic health, keeping the whole planetary system running smoothly.
That's truly advanced stuff. Profound energetic work happening without conscious participation, just operating in the background of reality.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? How much is constantly being processed under the surface?
Absolutely.
And, this raises a really important question. How does all of this incredibly complex esoteric stuff connect to our ordinary, daily, seemingly mundane lives?
Yeah, that's the big question. Is this just theoretical, or does it actually touch us?
Well, according to the source, the efficacy of the Isle of Saturn, and really the core principle of what it calls energetic weaving, lies precisely in its seamless integration with the most ordinary aspects of existence.
So simple things, like making dinner, or, I don't know, washing dishes.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Even simple things like preparing meals, rhythmic daily labor, or just casual exchanges of words. They become saturated with spellcraft when performed with conscious breath and clear intention.
Ah, intention and breath again.
They're key. When done consciously, these simple acts become potent inputs for the planetary chi grid.
So we're constantly feeding into this grid, whether we realize it or not.
Precisely. Energetic weaving, within this specific context, is presented as the art and science of aligning your personal motion, your intention, your energetic output, with the vast, intricate planetary circuitries of the YHVH OS.
And the system itself.
It acts like a living patch, continuously debugging and optimizing the collective energetic dream we all inhabit. Sound, for example, in all its forms, music, speech, nature's sounds, is a powerful input. Water, too, when imbued with intention. And the human voice, as we discussed, becomes a direct channel for that code injection into the energetic field.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for practical application. The source says the Isle of Saturn is never confined to just one single geographical location.
Right, it's not like you can book a flight there.
No, it's described as a dynamic, fluid, energetic reality. It activates wherever these specific rituals are enacted, wherever conscious breath meets intentional action. And crucially, wherever the mundane is recognized as an integral component of the sacred.
So it's about how we do things, not just what we do. It's about bringing that awareness into everyday life.
Exactly. It's everywhere and nowhere, activated by consciousness. Now, within the very fabric of this Isle of Saturn concept, there's also something called the Karmic Ledger.
Ah, yes, the ledger.
It's described as a conceptualized, maybe even self-aware algorithm that's perpetually recording and processing every single act.
Like a universal accounting system for karma.
Right. But our source says most sentient beings don't even perceive their own entries on this ledger. Why would that be?
Well, the explanation given is that their karmic patterns are often just too complex, and they're too interwoven with the collective karma to be easily discernible on an individual level.
Too much noise in the signal.
You could say that. The ledger frequently presents itself as ledger fog. Where the individual karmic pattern is too dense, it's obscured by emotional residue and all that narrative entanglement we talked about.
So how does the fog clear?
Typically, it's only when the story around the karma is recontextualized, or when the experience is consciously re-expressed, perhaps through deliberate articulation, writing, or even ritual, that the fog begins to dissipate and the entry becomes clearer.
Ah, so bringing conscious awareness to again?
Always. And remember, the core task of this whole framework, this Isle of Saturn, it's not about erasing karma, because every experience, even the painful ones, contains valuable data for the system. The goal is to debug it.
Debugging karma. I like that phrase.
And this debugging process, importantly, is described as being devoid of judgment or punishment. It's not about cosmic retribution. It focuses purely on reweaving the threads of cause and effect, untangling those energetic knots, and redirecting the energy so the karmic loop can finally complete itself properly. And in doing so, it contributes its lessons, its data, to the collective wisdom.
Completing the loop, not getting stuck in it.
Precisely. And ultimately, this continuous cycle of energetic input and output is what really defines the operational nature of the Isle of Saturn. Think about breathing. Inhalation represents that ceaseless influx of karmic input, all the raw data of existence pouring in.
Everything we experience.
Everything. And exhalation signifies the refined transmutational energetic output. That's the transmuted chi, the debugged energy, returning to the planetary grid, cleaner and more coherent.
The cosmic breath, in a way. In and out. Processing and release.
A very apt way to put it.
So after all this, what does this all really mean for you, the listener, sitting there taking this all in? This Isle of Saturn, it isn't some hidden mythical place waiting for someone to find it on a map. Rather, the source suggests it's called into being, it's activated with every conscious engagement in energetic principles.
It's participatory.
Exactly. It solidifies with what the source calls conscious debt, which means really understanding the profound energetic implications of every exchange you make, money, energy, words, anything.
Taking responsibility for the energetic flow.
Right. It manifests through every intentional breath. When you actually recognize the flow of M.E.F, that life force within your own energetic body, and it expands with every act of sovereign energetic stewardship.
Meaning?
Meaning when individuals take conscious responsibility for their own energetic fields, their own state, and understand their impact on the collective, on that mental consciousness grid.
So it's about personal energetic hygiene and awareness.
Absolutely. The system, viewed this way, isn't separate from us. It operates continuously. It's an integral and ever-present aspect of the YHVH OS, woven into the fabric of reality.
Always on, always processing.
Always on. So here's a final thought to leave you with. The next time you find yourself performing even the most ordinary moments of your day, taking a simple breath, saying a casual word, even just interacting with the objects around you, consider just for a moment how you might be subtly contributing to, or maybe even recalibrating, this living, breathing network that the source calls the YHVH OS. What new intention, what spark of awareness might you bring to your very next mundane act?